I now call this meeting to order at 5:04 p.m. Senator Clark, can you lead us in the fight song, please? Okay, now moving into roll call.
President Ryan. Vice President Young. President Mauricio. Chief of Staff Father Wallen. Deputy Chief of Staff Father Sonia. Director Oni Wallen. Assistant Director Montano. Director Ali. Assistant Director Bullock. Director Allen. Assistant Director Ajay.
Present.
Director Johnson. Director Reyes.
Present.
Assistant Director Paredes. Director McMillan. Assistant Director Scott. Director Gross. Director Fletcher. Assistant Director Ifeji. Assistant Director Tolbert. Director Matamupa. Assistant Director Hurley. Director Moultrie. Assistant Director Basak. Director Mays. Assistant Director Saki Winslow. Representative Cornell.
Present.
Representative Davis. Representative Lewis. Representative Coyer. Graphic Designer Minke. President Pro Tem Ford Brinton.
Present.
Government Operations Chair Tasker. Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes. Senator Elizabeth. Senator Yeboah. Senator Dawkins. Senator Clark. Senator Mcabuzzi.
Here.
Senator Edwards. Senator Stone. Senator Jolivet. Senator Kelly. Senator Harmon. Senator Baywa. Senator Gurzo. Senator Miller. Deputy Chief of Staff O'Loughlin. Associate Justice Dixon. Associate Justice Nolan. Associate Justice Nolan.
Moving into the approval of the minutes. Minutes have been approved. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, seeing none. Public participation / student concerns. Hearing none, seeing none. Okay, moving into communications, advisors' remarks.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Y'all having a good day. I have two core announcements. First one is about timesheets. Timesheets are due tomorrow by 5 p.m. Paid members, please submit in the TU system your timesheet so that Janaya can do your approvals. Second one is for Tiger Pride Day. Yay! Okay, I'm gonna do some reminders because I'm very excited. Also, y'all have work to do. So, first thing is, tomorrow is projected to rain. Ooh, this will be the second year in a row. Be prepared to walk in the rain. So your Q pumps that you were gonna wear, bring a pair of flats or rain boots because we will be outside walking in the rain. Come prepared. I'll say that again, it's going to rain tomorrow. Be prepared to walk in the rain. Okay, second, the call time is, who knows? 7:15, y'all are good. Please meet at 7:15 on the second floor near the food court. We will meet inside because if it's raining, we want y'all to be a little bit comfortable before we get on the bus. You will do check-ins with our staff chaperones. You'll see all of that in the morning. Please come to the union, 7:15 near the food court on the second floor. The next thing, you have tasks. I sent an email out last night. If you didn't get it, ask your friend to forward it to you. You have to complete a waiver, your travel waiver. You cannot get on the bus without the waiver being done. If you don't get on the bus, you don't get credit for coming to Tiger Pride Day. So please do the waiver. I also need to cross-check it, so do it as soon as humanly possible. It's really quick. You sign your name. If you're under 18, I don't think nobody is under 18 anymore. Put your parent or guardian on there. It'll send them an email It'll be quick. So do the waiver, please, as soon as humanly possible. The other two tasks you should do, review the legislator assignment document. The email I sent has several links in it. You need to know who you're meeting with, what time your meeting is, and the location of said meeting. Be prepared. Look at the map, know what time you need to be there, and know who you're going with. I matched all of the SGA students with other SGA students, so you shouldn't be meeting a stranger. So make sure you connect with the person who you're matched with so that you know what time you need to be meeting with the legislators and where you need to go. And then the last thing is to review the schedule. We have a full day down in Annapolis. We're all gonna be up very early, starts at 7:15 a.m. We are scheduled to be back on campus by 4-ish. Don't schedule anything to start at 4 because you'll be late, okay? So we're scheduled to be back on campus by 4 p.m., 4:30 at the absolute latest if there's bad traffic. Otherwise, I'm very excited. I hope y'all are excited too, to meet our state legislators and to advocate for TU and the state of Maryland. Any questions? Yes. Oh, sorry, can I acknowledge my dad? Yeah.
Like any umbrella or umbrella size restrictions? Like any restrictions on umbrellas? Sorry.
So great question. I would encourage you to Google that.
Thank you.
Yep. Other questions? Yep. I'll repeat your question. No? Okay. Right. You're good? All right. I hope y'all are excited for Tiger Pride Day. I am. It's gonna be great. I yield my time.
Appropriations Committee.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Tiger Tuesday.
So I don't have much to report, but last Monday, well, this Monday, sorry, the Appropriations Committee did meet at 2:30 p.m. and we voted on 2 pieces of the FPSO that you will see shortly. And we will be meeting next week, Monday. With that, I yield.
Government Operations Committee.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. The Government Operations Committee met on March 3rd, 2025 to discuss and vote on Senate Resolution number 20. On behalf of the Government Operations Committee in a 0-6-0 vote, the committee decided on a unanimous vote for unfavorability. The committee has concluded that it should not be placed in a resolution. The committee clarifies that while we stand with the current language of the Senate resolution, it should be moved into a public statement, for example, the post-election communication, for an example. The purpose of a resolution is to bring tangible change. Therefore, this current format does not bring foreseeable change to the student body. Therefore, the original intention is well thought of with the correct language, but it is in the ineffective placement as a consensus from the committee. Any questions?
A resolution is a statement, though. So like, I get it not that in no form.
No, continue.
No, it's okay, free. Is that it?
Yeah, any other questions? Okay, with that, I yield.
Rules Committee.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody. I have a small report to give you guys today. So Senator 101s have gone up in the group me, so please sign up for that. If you can't make any of the allotted times, please let me know. And if you're not attending one of these, that'll be a PDR. So that starts next week, so make sure you're looking in the group me for those signups. Other than that, Budget Committee, we are in the middle of our FAC committees. Again, one of those things where if you cannot make any of the allotted times, please let me know so that we can work something out. And if you're not letting me know or attending anything, once again, that'd be a PDR. Other than that, rules meets tomorrow at 4 p.m. and with that I yield.
President Ron.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. So not much to report from me. I was gonna give a Tiger Pride Day reminder, just kind of general, but Advisor Harris really hit that on the chin. And then I know Director Reyes will also talk a bit about that. Just make sure you come to the union on time tomorrow so we can leave promptly and arrive on time. Next, the Admitted Students Day reminder. So Admitted Students Day, the first one is March 7th, this Friday, at 10:15. I believe set up for the tabling for that needs to be done by, I want to say noon, by 1 p.m. So I know Chief of Staff Adewale has sent out the sign-up genius for that. So please just make sure you're signed up. And then also, Admitted Students Day, the second session will happen on March 8th, and then there'll be another one on March 29th. So just keep your eyes open for that. Next, the solid nominations opened up yesterday, and they'll be open until March 28th. So if you would like to nominate anyone, that can include yourself, look in your email. It went out to your email from Student Affairs. Read through the list of awards, and then nominate whoever you feel is worthy of each award. I believe there are, I want to say, 9 awards, about 3 or 4 scholarships, and then there are also like a couple of awards designated for specifically for student organizations. So if you would like to nominate anyone for that, please do so by March 28th. And before I move into Member of the Week, I did want to take a second to highlight someone who is in the room with us. So former Vice President Damon Edwards is here with us today. So thank you for joining us. He's been very instrumental in me being Ryan today in terms of becoming president and everything. He was a mentor to me, so thank you. And then lastly, for Member of the Week, can I get a drum roll, please? So this week's Member of the Week is someone who is new to SGA. Well, as of last semester, they've been here for a semester now. They're in the Senate. They've done a lot of great work, and everyone has taken notice, really. I was speaking amongst us, the board, and we were really discussing just the amount of work that you have been putting in terms of not only pushing out initiatives, but, uplifting the people around you, making sure everyone's on one accord. So we are all very appreciative of your help, and we know you have a lot more to come. So without further ado, congratulations to Senator Grizzle. Other questions?
Treasurer Mauricio.
No report.
Attorney General Bennett.
No report.
Chief of Staff Adewale.
Hi, everyone. Just a quick note. So we're gonna be having an annual walk a mile, on Friday. It's hosted by GMBC Hospital. It's gonna be on Friday, April 11th, so not this month. Participants can get, community service hours if they, participate. It's at 4 p.m. This event benefits the Safe and Domestic Violence program that they have at the GMBC Hospital. So if you are interested, please reach out. SGA will be paying for the slots. So, the more the merrier. Okay, I'm just gonna email you guys the actual date if that was incorrect. Also, if you signed up for Admitted Students Day, just like, President Ryan said, please make sure you are there on time to set up and you're there on time to rotate for your spots. The first day is March 7th. Setup is by 1 p.m., but you have the actual date that I do want you guys there to set up on the sign-up genius. And that is all. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Department of Academic Affairs.
No report.
Department of Communications.
No report.
Department of Community Outreach.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to emphasize, Impact to You, that's coming up. They'll be in April, right? I'm sorry if I don't have the date right now, send it in the chat after GA. It'll be 5 hours. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's 5 hours, and the service requirement for SGA is 5 hours. So you can knock it all out in one go. So we emphasize and we hope that all SGA members can go. Is there any questions?
Do you have to stay for the full 5 hours or can you do like partial?
Oh, you'd have to stay for the full 5 hours. Are there any other questions?
President Ryan.
Just for the record for everyone, the event is mandatory, correct?
Any other questions? And with that, Abe.
Department of Diversity and Inclusion,
No report.
Department of Governmental Affairs.
Hello, everyone. I just want to reiterate that obviously tomorrow's Tiger Pride Day. Please be here on time, be prepared for the rain, dress comfortable. Also remember to bring a state issued ID. And if you have any questions, just refer to the email that was sent out yesterday. Any questions? Okay, with that, I yield.
Department of Health and Wellness.
Hey guys, so the March Madness blood drive is from 11:04 in the Union Ballrooms on March 12th. And I will resend the sign up sheet in the group me. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Department of Marketing.
Okay, so this week we were able to get a real collab with student activities, so that'll be posted tomorrow, and it's basically highlighting the Student Affairs Leadership Awards and the nominations, and basically when it closes and different awards that are available. And then also for Tiger Pride, I was trying to do content, but it's raining, so like if you guys are up to it inside, either we'll see basically how everything goes, but I know it's early, so I don't know if y'all want me to be recording y'all in the morning or in the afternoon, but we'll see how that goes. But if you're open to it, I just wanted to do like a video. Any questions? Okay, that are you.
Department of New Student Development.
No report.
Department of Special Projects.
No report.
Department of Student Services and Affairs.
Super quick, I put the contracts in the street teams boxes, so if you guys can sign it, that'd be amazing. And I've been trying to kind of catch you guys, the ones who are on street team, to give you guys the crew necks. But I am missing a few people, so if you guys can try and get your crew neck by Friday, that'd be great, because we're starting next week. Any questions? That'd be yield.
Department of Student Organization.
No reports.
Department of Sustainability.
No report.
Military Veterans Representative. URG Representative.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Got a couple of things. The first thing is that it's been brought to my attention that there has been an issue in Harris Hall regarding some athletic students. They've been harassing fellow residents, saying inappropriate things. There's been a case of a girl actually dropping out of college because of them. The building council brought this to me. They don't know what to do. They contacted the coach. Coach isn't doing anything about it. This is capstone housing, so we're not sure what to do about it. So if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. They contacted TUPD. No. Okay. Well, yeah. Another thing I have is that tonight is our OTM Oreos GA in LA room 3214 from 7 to 8 p.m. Learn about OTMs and eat some Oreos. And the last thing is that Here We Were is tomorrow, Union Ballroom E, 4 to 6 p.m. We had a last minute addition. Housing will be there from 4 to 5 p.m. So, you know, after Tiger Pride Day, if you guys aren't too tired, you can stop on by, have fun, connect with people. Any questions? And with that, I yield.
Sports Club Council Representative.
No report.
CAB Representative.
Few announcements. First thing on Thursday, March 6th, we are showing Bad Boys for Life because the first time there was technical difficulty in lecture hall. So that'll be in Union Theater on Thursday from 6 to 9. Friday from 6 to 9, we're also showing Challengers in the same place, Union Theater. And then Saturday, we're also gonna be at the Mid-Student Stay tabling. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed tomorrow. tomorrow, March 5th, we're gonna have a general members meeting from 5 to 6 in Falls. Any questions? Oh, I'm sorry. And last week we had Rutgers City and we had about 800 students in attendance. And so we did reach capacity, but also too, we're about, let me double check. We have sold about 500 floor tickets, so we only have like 300 floor tickets left. I could get the rest of the statistics for next week, but yeah, get your tickets if you haven't already. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Freshman council representative.
No report.
Transfer council representative.
No report.
Alright, no report for me. Any opinions in the court?
Tiger Tuesday, last week, Thursday, the judicial branch had an appeal within the Police Student Association. They were granted their appeal. Any questions? With that, I yield.
We are now going to move into a quorum call, so senators, press yes on your clickers to indicate that you are here. So we're gonna do it by show of hands instead. So if you're here, please raise your hand. Sixteen without me, 17 with me. And so with that, we have quorum. Are there any motions on the floor? Senator Dawkins,
Motion to use, resolution number 20.
are there any seconds?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Coney. With that, with the motion to review Senate Resolution 20 is passed, seeing as myself and President Ryan are the bill writer, I'm going to ask that Government Operations Chair Tasker come to take place. Hello, everybody. So, as you may have heard, the day following our first reading of this legislation, the primary concern of the 2,600 students that signed that petition had been addressed. Now, for many people, they've come up to me and said that has reduced the need for this resolution, and I couldn't disagree more. There are a number of other things that these students that signed this petition agreed to and wanted from the school itself. They wanted more assurances of protection. They wanted more assurances of recognition, and they wanted to feel that the Towson University base administration was looking out for them. And I think that this resolution does just that. We stand with the students and send a message to the administration through this resolution that we are hoping to have that energy fostered throughout the university, that we can protect these students, that we can hear these students, look after them, and create an energy that makes it feel like a more diverse community that feels equal and protected.
Yes, so like President Pro Tempore Brent mentioned, the initial claim behind, why we wanted to do this resolution, and what the petition was kind of pushing for, the main thing was, Homeland Security at the career fair, and that was addressed. But despite that being addressed, the rally or the protest that they had planned still went on. And the reason for that was that, like President Pro Tempore Brent said, there was still more that needed to be addressed. And in the petition that was linked to the resolution, there was more than just, talking about, in the list of demands that they were asking for, it was more than just removing ICE from the career fair. And so also touching back on the Government Operations Committee to rule it unfavorable and basically say it should be a public statement instead. I looked up exactly what our governing document says about what a resolution entails. So I put it from the Standing Rules of Order, and it reads, a resolution is basically legislation that establishes the will of the undergraduate student experience in concerning the confirmation of appointees. Additionally, this legislation states the SGA's position on state and federal legislation concerning issues affecting students in higher education. So this resolution still falls under that criteria. The students, like I said, even though ICE was removed from the career fair, there's still more things that they're asking for. And in this resolution, we are just letting them know that they're seen and heard and we support them. So I don't agree with the committee recommendation, but I would also employ the senators to vote accordingly. And remember that, people are listening, people are watching. We are just saying that we support them and we're here with them. So remember that.
Any questions? Senator Grizzle? I actually do 100% agree that this still needs to be pushed out. I think that we still need to talk about this. I guess my main question is if this is a restatement that we already support and stand with the students, which we put here that it's already in the preamble of our Constitution. My question is, why is it important putting this as a resolution? Like, what goal are we getting out of the resolution as compared to the statement, which we did for the post-election?
I think that's a great question. A number of things that we do here as resolutions get pushed into administrative spaces. And I think it's important that the people that actually make decisions and control our university are seeing the things that we are saying, and it's forcing that conversation upon them. I believe the communication we did before over Instagram are effective, but forcing the conversation into an actual academic administrative space, I think is much more valuable.
And just piggybacking off of that, like the public statements, they're cool, they're helpful, but resolution, well, all pieces of legislation is what sticks. When, a year goes by and someone is asking, oh, what did SGA do about, so-and-so? They're not gonna take the time to scroll down our Instagram to see if we made a public post about it. They're gonna refer to the pieces of legislation that we make public for this specific reason, so they can reflect on it, they can look at it, and they can know that there was something that we did.
Senator Miller? I guess I just also wanted to give my opinion about the concern. This is something that is directly affecting our university. As much as everything else may have affected us, this was going to be a presence physically on campus. And so the statement and concern with that, I believe, is still very relevant to this piece of legislation. Because it was going to be a physical presence on campus and people are worried about their safety regarding the possibility for that presence to then be on campus. So I think while the situations are very similar, there is still somewhat of a key difference and that this legislation holds importance in this regard. Kelly? Senator Kelly?
So my question is, since this resolution technically doesn't change anything, why in the language are we not asking the university to do something?
The effective point of this resolution is to uplift other student voices that are advocating for their own student body. So in that, there is, we mentioned the petition's name itself, there are a list of things the student body itself wants to hear. Our goal with this resolution was to use our platform to uplift the student body itself rather than us the demands ourselves.
Well, isn't that our job to ask the university?
Yes, and that's a part of the reason why this resolution was made. So originally, when I was trying to figure out, what could we do about the situation in terms of Homeland Security coming to the career fair and a lot of students feeling pressured and worried, a lot of students were calling for the university to remove them themselves. But what a lot of students didn't know is that according to the policy centered around like employers at career fairs, they couldn't do that unless there were specific policies broken. And so at that point in time, there was no policy broken, so the university couldn't do anything. And so I felt like where we step in with that is we don't, continue to allow them to reiterate the wrong message. We tell them what exactly can be done and we help them that way. So to me, the best way to do that was to make this resolution so we could amplify the student voice and what they were saying, get that to the right platform, and then also put the pressure on Homeland Security once they see what's going on here, the student voice is coming together and it's large now at this point. They see the rally on Wednesday that was planned. And I think that had a big part as well. But when they see things like that, that's what this resolution is there for, to not only show support, but also to show the presence of the student voice and what's going on campus as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Okay. I recommend that a senator yield their time to Assistant Director Martano. I yield my time to Assistant Director Martano. Thank you.
I guess my question is, will this resolution still be, I guess, upheld for like the next semester? Because I do want to emphasize that although ICE presence is not here for this fair, that still doesn't stop them from coming next semester, next year. Like, this is gonna be something that's gonna keep continuing. And I feel like this is very important, I guess, to acknowledge. So my question is, I guess, do you think the resolution will really benefit and help for the next semester? And I guess, what are the further next steps with this?
Yeah, so since I won't be here next semester, my term will end in May. I can't like wholeheartedly say like, yes, like this same spirit that we have behind this will be upheld. But with full confidence, I hope so. I hope so. And so even with us passing this resolution, although, Homeland Security is no longer going to be in attendance at the career fair, it still gives off the right message. And so, like I said before, when people look back and they ask, oh, what did SGA have to say about this? What did SGA do about this? They can look at this and they can see this is where we stood with this. And hopefully that will continue because this organization is bigger than just, one person. It's bigger than me or any of you guys. We're not an individual organization. This is a group, and with that group, the message has stayed the same for years, for 104 years now. And we want to continue that consistency as we go on, so.
Any other questions? Senator Kelly?
I meant to ask this earlier, but one of the things that HSI, like the Department of ICE, one of the things that they do focus on, and I know people who have like actually worked for this division, is like human trafficking and child exploitation. So how would you like respond to them who say that they have a legitimate interest to employ?
My response would be, take a look around at the student body itself. Like you said, they do offer some good opportunities, and that's true. But at the same time, if we're on a university with 17,000 undergraduate students, and a large majority of them are expressing their concerns there, what else can we say about that? Of course, like we want it to be across the board, like, it works out for you and it works out for you, but you're never gonna be able to please everybody. And so if the majority of the student body, not even just the student body, but, faculty and staff as well expressed a great deal of concern with this. If the majority of the entire campus, the entire university is, expressing displeasure with this, I think, it kind of goes without saying, something needs to be done. And so our job as SGA is to advocate for the student body. And so if the majority of the student body is saying, hey, let's do something about this, it's for us to do something about this. And, I would say that the same thing follows with the university as well. When university admin sees that there's a large outpour of students, faculty, and staff who want something done, they work to get it done. A good example I use, obviously it's not the same in terms of the severity of it, but at the beginning of the school year, a lot of people had displeasure with the campus rec hours. And a great majority of students expressed that. Even, people who worked in campus rec, like it wasn't just, students who would attend, but also people who relied on those hours to, pay their bills. They expressed their displeasure. And so immediately the university, they saw that and they jumped right on it and they tried to make a change. And so obviously, with that decision, there was pros and cons to it, and you can't make everybody happy. But really, our job as SGA is to listen to the student voice and amplify that. And so that's just what we're trying to do here.
All right, and with that, any more questions? Okay, I recommend someone to make a move. Are there any motions on the floor? Senator Miller?
I'd like to call questions on resolution number 20.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Rojo. And with that, we will now move into a vote on Senate Resolution number 20. Oh, call to question. And now we will move into an official vote on Senate Resolution number 20. And with that, Senate Resolution number 20 has passed. Thank you, President Rines and President Pro Tem Ford Burton.
Are there any motions on the floor? Senator Kelly?
Motion to inquire resolution number 21.
Are there any seconds?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Grizzle. With a vote of 16 to 0, the motion to inquire resolution number 20 is passed. Can Senator Kelly, Senator Grizzle, and Senator Edwards please come forward and present the bill?
Okay, good evening, everyone. So Senate Resolution number 21 is a resolution to establish a sustainability fund rebate program for individual students and student organizations. So essentially what this would do is if a student organization takes a part of the sustainability fund and they use it for a sustainable project or initiative on campus that benefits our environmental campus, then they would receive a certain percentage of that money back to use for their own personal organization.
And I would also like to highlight that the sustainability fund goes directly to sustainable projects, and this rebate will go directly to the organization, which will serve as a monetized incentive to use the fund more.
Yeah, again, this resolution was created just in the event realizing that that fund, sustainability fund, went severely underused last administration, like last year, and this year as well. As you see in the documentation, it's only been touched like 16% compared to other funds that have been used up. The majority part, a lot of which even to their full extent, and then again, we have this one severely underused, so the rebate initiative would just essentially, like Senator Grizzle was saying, incentivize organizations to be creative and come up with new projects around campus, again, towards sustainability. So, yeah, any questions?
Are there any technical, non-debatable questions? Vice President Sani.
Yeah, so one question that I had is, when you were writing the resolution, did you think of any other ways, like we could, encourage people to apply for a sustainability fund? And if so, how?
Yeah, so we actually did consider other ways of incentive, using this as an incentive. We could turn it to kind of like a limited time deal where for a semester or allocated time, they're able to get this rebate, just so that it will be able to be used as marketing to draw more attention to the fund. From there, more organizations will know about the fund, so we will be able to continue this uphill trend.
And one of the things I noticed too about the requirements to apply for the sustainability fund is that it has to be a new project. That is not something that I necessarily agree with, just because if a student organization wants to do a project that another student organization is doing, technically under the wording, they can't do it because it's already been done before. So just something to think about.
Vice President Sani.
Sorry, well, last question. And I'm trying to make sure it's non-technical debatable question, but, were you able to speak to Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes about the FSPO and how the sustainability fund is used? Because I'm not sure about that wording.
I mean, it's online. When you go to alternative funding, it says it right. I don't know if you guys are changing that. I don't.
Chief of Staff Adewale.
Okay, so like there was like, when you discussed how else to market this, the incentive was the only way you could see promoting it to other student orgs.
We thought along just going with like our idea of the rebate, obviously would be a way to incentivize, but we also brainstormed that, maybe if the rebate itself wasn't seen as favorable, we could find other ways to push it. I.e. maybe, our communications where we do that, but also maybe we brainstorm when we meet with most of the organizations on campus for like the FPSO or like other initiatives, we can maybe mention to them that, by the way, like the club leaders, there's this fund that's underused, and then maybe guide them to where they could source information on how to use it, like et cetera, something along those lines.
I think if, this is the question, I think if you guys were able.
Senator.
I hope I am using this right, but if I could offer a point of information. Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes and I, and along with the entire Appropriations Committee, we are rewriting the FPSO because the Sustainability Fund is not even in the FPSO. So all of that language is being rewritten. In addition, the Appropriations Committee and specifically Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes and I have been discussing how to get these alternative fundings out and advertised to the student body because they are not welcome any of the alternative funding methods, especially because they are not in the FPSO. The only place to find them really is on the alternative funding section of the Towson website. So it's been something that the Appropriations Committee has been addressing, and there will be legislation coming next week regarding the Sustainability Fund, which will likely having its name changed, and the language on the website can be a bit outdated, and that will be being updated with the introduction of the FPSO legislation. And then I also had a question, if that's okay. Where would the money for the rebate be being pulled from? Would it be being pulled from any general funds, or would it be also be being pulled from the Sustainability Fund?
I talked to Treasurer Mauricio, but if this were to happen, it would probably be somewhere from like the discretionary fund.
Treasurer Mauricio. One clarification. Said like you could pull it, so it could, like in theory, right, if you guys wanted to, right, you could pull it from the general initiatives and the discretionary, but you also have to note the discretionary is the president's money, like that's his money. And then general initiatives is the director. And like everyone's money. So yes, in theory you could. But
Speaking on the point of clarification that Senator Miller made originally, I did want to comment that the point of this resolution was just to get that conversation started, because I feel like for most of this administration, we've been pushing to create projects and sustainable projects and ideas. And we've never really had that conversation of pushing marketing for it. So I think that this resolution is just to get that conversation started. And I think it's a good idea that there is going to be some language changes, and maybe we can come up with something to accommodate for that.
Just real quick, I think it's important to understand that last year, less than 17% of this fund was used, and we're already halfway through the second semester and 0 of it has been used. So obviously there is an issue that needs to be addressed to start using this fund.
okay, we're doing 3 more questions. Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure this is not debatable, but if not, let me know. Do you foresee collaboration with the Appropriations Committee on this resolution?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, was there a specific reason that there wasn't collaboration before the resolution was put out?
What do you mean?
In terms, wait.
Because I did email you and Marlon. Marlon did meet with me, but. Yeah. And Advisor Harris did, but someone else.
All right, point of order, everybody. Keep your voice down. Point of order. No side discussion, stop talking. Let's get called on. All right, here's that open.
Would you be open to also, talking with our marketing department on how to market this as well?
Yeah, definitely. We have an amazing director of marketing, and they would definitely, I'm sure, have a lot of ideas of how we could further efficient communication of the unused funds. Yeah.
One more question. I recommend as a member of the Senate yield their time to Director Ali. Senator Outcome Operations Chair Tasker.
Sorry, y'all, these mics don't like me, but I yield my time to Director Ali.
Excuse me if you already answered this, but how much would the incentive be given towards the orgs if they were to use sustainability fund?
That would be up to the appropriations.
Then can I piggyback? To piggyback off what Chief of Staff. Adewale? To piggyback off what she said, would you be considering, or would you be open to considering bringing in the communications department as well? I feel like your problem is that you don't have. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, any way we can market this just to get those funds used, whether it's communications, marketing, a pros, anybody, all of us, we should push this out to everybody.
Senator Miller.
Just wanted to offer another point of clarification on an earlier statement. It might not have been seen, but there has been discussion on marketing of these funds. We were just focused on getting the FPSO changed and pushed first so that we were advertising actually present funds. Because they exist, they just aren't written in our legislation. And if we are able to push these funds and show them, then it needs to have a legislation to back it. So there has been conversation with Appropriations Chair Rivera Fortes and I specifically, and we were actually planning next meeting to discuss this more, to reach out to the marketing committee to get this going, because we would have a legislative bill to be presented. So it might not have been heard, but there has been discussion. So definitely reach out to Appropriations.
Treasurer Mauricio.
Okay, this is like a question to think about. Why are we incentivizing organizations with more money for free money?
Oh, no.
I retract my statements.
All right, thank you, Senator Kelly, Griswold, Edwards. Are there any motions on the floor? Senator Stubbs.
Requires Senate Resolution 22.
Is there a second? Yes, sir. Senator Ewa? And with a vote of 15 to 1-0, the motion to acquire Senate Resolution number 22 is passed. Can Senator Dawkins, Senator Lojo, Senator So, and Senator Akani please come forward and present your bill?
So Senate Bill Resolution number 22 is motivated by the need to remove barriers for people with disabilities and maintain an inclusive environment, campus environment.
So the purpose of the resolution is to uphold Towson University's commitment to creating an inclusive and accessible environment for all students, faculty, and staff and visitors. And I just also wanted to add that we are working with the accessibility and disability services on campus right now, and they're very open to all the ideas we're bringing forward to them.
It emphasizes that regular maintenance and prompt research on essential for ensuring that all members of the university can navigate campus facilities safely and independently.
Additionally, we want to point out that Salisbury University has a policy of attending to. They have a policy of attending to incident reports within 24 hours, actually 48 hours when the report goes in. So we hope that you consider that when you review the bill. Thank you.
Okay, are there any technical, non-debatable questions? President Ryan.
So I saw in the bill, on the fourth whereas, it said there have been reported instances of, accessibility buttons being out of service, or malfunctioning. So do you guys know specifically like where those have been reported from or?
Academic buildings primarily.
Oh, I'll repeat my question. For the record, thank you for your answer though. The question was, in the fourth whereas they stated that there has been reports of, accessibility buttons being out of service or malfunctioning. So I just asked where specifically, if they know where those reports came from.
Yeah, it's usually. So sometimes you have incidents where, like the water fountain at the gym doesn't work at all. That takes out like a couple weeks with no notice on there, so that could be one of the incidents. Does that answer your question, Person Eddie?
Yes, that answers my question. Thank you.
Any other questions? I recommend a member of the Senate yield their time to Associate Justice Rolette. Government Operations Chair Tasker.
I yield my time to Associate Justice Rowland.
So based on the school's accessibility disability services, which buildings do not have the accessibility buttons that are not working? Is it the academic buildings? Like which buildings do not have the buttons working?
Okay, so there have been complaints about the the residence halls and then also the academic buildings. And then even like, I don't know, when we were doing the meeting, the union too, even when we were doing the meetings, like, I don't know if any of the other senators remember when we're during the summer retreat, when we're discussing like bills that we wanted to push forward this semester, one of the things was people complaining about the buttons not working. So this is the bill, like we're trying to push in response to that concern being brought forward. But we can definitely, I mean, if you really want like research and like, you know, information data about where specifically that, the buttons aren't working, we can provide that at a later time, this week, later time, post it. But for now, like, we don't know. Well, I don't have specifics for you, but we just know that there's been complaints.
Have students brought them complaints to the Office of Accessibility and Disability Services? Like, do you guys have like any research or knowledge that they have brought that to the attention of them, because that is actually a violation of the American Disabilities Educate Act, the ADA law?
Senator has pointed out, L has pointed out that there has been complaints about disability buttons not working, having to pull our doors.
Thank you, that's it.
President Ryan.
Also, point of information, I guess kind of piggybacking off my question. I don't doubt the fact that there are certainly accessibility buttons that do not work or don't work properly. I was just like thinking, for the sake of not only this resolution, but reaching a solution to the problem, it would be helpful to figure out, where exactly those reports come from. So
I would just like to add though, the comment about the water fountain was completely off. I just realized that. I was trying to think of examples at the top of my head, it actually didn't come through. But honestly, the resolution is just so we can get, the administration to respond fast, right? There are obviously so many complaints, which we're not completely sure of the exact locations right now, but as soon as we get the data out on the second reading, this should actually go better. And then, yeah, go ahead, next question.
Vice President Sani, and this will be the last question.
Sorry, point of clarification, it's not really a question. As they stated earlier, when they introduced the bill, they said they've been having conversations with ADS. So I would just like for like majority of the questions to refrain from that, because they're still having those conversations, I assume, correct? And you guys are gathering more information as well, so the bill still has to go through a committee and it'll like get updated as it.
Senator Lynn.
So is the concern with this bill less that there aren't buttons working all the time and more that buttons aren't fixed in a timely manner? Because that seems to be what the bill is establishing, especially with the 48-hour notation. And I'm not sure if that is what is coming across.
Yes, yeah, exactly that. So, yeah, it's the both like all of like, the complaints we've heard and we've received, but also like, obviously they're not policies actually, it seems like there's not policies actually put in place to address repairing these, buttons around campus. So like, I guess, yeah, the bill is to those policies in place and those, yeah.
All right, Chief of Staff Ed William.
Do you believe that this could go past just the maintenance of accessibility buttons and you could bring about like maintenance of a lot of technical things in general on campus, such as the housing elevators, the garage elevators shaking, like do you think this is a possibility to bring in a whole lot more things that haven't been spoken about, to the table with your meetings to gather more information?
Yeah. I definitely agree with what you're saying, and right now at the moment, yes, we're working on the distance, like the buttons, but definitely when discussing other concerns that may come, we can definitely take in other concerns like the elevator and things like that, so.
Any other questions? I recommend a member of the Senate yield their time to Director Mulder. Senator Edwards.
I yield my time to Director Moultrie.
Formulate this into a question, I guess it's kind of like a statement, no? Okay, do you guys know about the accessibility walk that focuses kind of on this?
No.
Yeah, that'd be a point of information.
You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just first inquiry, so we're still open to so many conversations. Right.
Yeah, no, saying you can do a point of information. You can
Yeah,
explain.
okay, so point of information. So my department actually does like something similar to the safety walk before like accessibility. So like we walk around campus and test out all the buttons, all the water fountains and stuff like that. So maybe you guys will want to include that in your research. We can kind of talk about that and try and plan before I leave, but.
Yes, we will definitely be speaking to you about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senators So, Hani, Olojo, and Dawkins. Are there any motions on the floor? Government Operations Chair Tasker.
I motion to review Senate Bill number 14.
Are there any-
I second.
Thank you, Senator Edwards. With a vote of 60 to 0, the motion to require Senate Bill number 14 is passed. Senator Kelly, can you please come up and present your bill?
Okay, good evening, everyone. So Senate Bill number 14 is a constitutional amendment to allow us and the student body to have referendums put on the election ballot. This is something that actually came up when I had a meeting last semester with President Pro Tempore Vivian Wilson. I wanted to put a referendum asking the student body if they agree that fall break should be moved to election day. Because one of the first questions that I got was, does the student body support this? Because obviously when you present and pass a resolution, that only does so much. And if the student body does support it, then obviously it would be go much further. I know a couple thousand people do vote in these elections. So if we're able to get their feedback on any Towson University policy, I think it is important.
Are there any questions? Senator Edwards?
Do you have plans, or what are your plans to push the communication that would bring back in at least 1,000 responses?
I mean, I think at least a couple, like 1,000, 2,000 people do usually vote in the election. So if they were to respond to this, we would be able to get relatively good feedback. And really this would pertain to any Towson University policy, because right now under our governing documents, only constitutional amendments can be put on the election ballot. So we can't, pose a question to the student body about policies that affect them, just a situation at ICE, I know student organizations have questions about Towson University policy regarding that, but they can't put it on the election ballot to have the student body, state their position on that.
Deputy Chief of Staff Adesanya.
Okay, just to kind of like add on to Senator Edwards' question. It takes people are not just gonna fill out a survey, so how would you actually? How would you get people to, how do you plan on getting people to actually fill out these surveys? Cause
Well, I mean, one of the requirements to, like we talked about in the impeachment process, 500 people have to sign a petition. So we already have this practice in place with other policies. So and student organizations that, correct me if I'm wrong, they just had a petition that 2,600 people signed. So I don't think that is an issue.
Any questions? I recommend a member of the Senate yield their time to Director Ali. Senator Edwards?
I use my time to Director Ali.
Have you inquired about having this survey and any of the other initiatives that SGA pushes throughout the year to survey students, like Street Team, or just generally like just doing a tabling?
I mean, tablings only reach a certain number of people, like thousands of people do vote, like 2,000 people. I don't know if you're gonna reach 2,000 people at a tabling event, so that's the reason.
Are there any other questions? I recommend a member of the Senate yield their time to Advisor Harris. Senator Dawkins.
I think this is a point of information. Any changes to the election policy also may have to or only be changed in the election policy. So I'll send that document. Because yes, to the Constitution, but there's an election policy that has language about how you change.
It's like they would both kind of have to change, or just one.
I just pulled it up, so I don't have a full answer, but at the very least, both, but it may be just the election policy.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, are there any announcements? Thank you, Senator Kelly. Chief of Staff Adewale.
So about solid nominations, just to make it clear, SGA members cannot nominate themselves. I mean, you can, but you can't really nominate yourself for the SGA specific awards if you're, nominating yourself as like an SGA member, like, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So if you're an SGA member, you shouldn't be nominating yourself for an SGA sponsored award. But all the other awards, you're free to.
President Rons.
I'm in the city center communications, but I wanted to provide a quick update on Senator Kelly's bill, regarding the Dean's List distinction, or if you would like to share, I'll let you share.
Yeah, I did actually reach out to the Academic Standards Committee. They did review it, and I am gonna meet with the provost on Friday to talk to her about it.
Any other announcements? Okay, are there any motions on the floor? Senator Aloja.
Motion to adjourn.
Are there any seconds?
I second.
Thank you, Government Operations Chair Tasker. With a vote of 15-0, General Assembly has been adjourned.
Please take your agendas, papers, put them in the recycling. Also, please put your nameplates in the box, and then can I have somebody take the nameplate box downstairs? Thank you.
Senator Speaker, please bring up your letters of